Yeah, they happen.
Yes.
Oh, so fun. They get that wiggly stage, and you can't keep up with them.
That's why it's nice. It's getting nice outside, so we can send them outside to play again.
Oh, what a cute close-up. You have so many opportunities to practice your photography skills with kids. And the great car rides. Riding in the, does everybody like to ride in the car, or do you have any that get car sick?
No, they don't. That's our Men in Black pose there.
Oh.
That was when I was in the hospital with Cademan last year.
Our oldest daughter.
Yeah.
It looks like a serious one.
She likes to pose in those.
Yeah. Thoughtful.
Yeah, those little artsy poses.
And they all love to do cheesy grins, too.
So do you guys just kind of have fun at home a lot of the time instead of...
Oh, yes, definitely.
This, doesn't look like you had to go to Disneyland to have a smile on your face, and I think that's really the way to go.
Yeah.
You don't get a bill on your visa for being... A lot of the things... I'm going to read a favorite quote that you say in your book that I just love. The Bible calls dead a curse and children a blessing. But in our culture, we apply for a curse and reject blessings. Something is wrong with this picture. Doug Phillips, I'm not familiar with him, but boy, I love his saying.
Vision for him.
Yeah. Isn't that so true?
Yes.
It is.
I don't think people realize that the idea of children being a blessing isn't just a suggestion.
Right.
It really is, an honor to accept the children that, that God has. I want to talk about people that have fears, and they're real, of course. People that say, it takes 2 incomes these days. You've heard it, I've heard it. I have 6 children, I hear it a lot, and I know the fear of finances. I know it. We both have talked about going through unemployment in our families. This is real for people. So for those people that are saying, the starter house in Portland these days is $200,000 or wherever, how, we can't figure out how we're going to afford a house and if we both don't work, and, how's that all going to work? What do you want to say to those people?
We made a decision back when we started thinking about having a QuiverX family that Shannon was going to stay at home so that we could continue to homeschool our children and that we could continue to raise them and not have to have 2 incomes to support our family. And that was something we kind of threw out there in faith, expecting that God would come through if this was really His plan for our lives.
Oh, that's a good point.
And He has, and more than, I can't even count how many blessings we've received. Promotions, bonuses, good paying jobs. With a family of 7 with number 8 on the way, I have a job that's good enough that I can go to work and my wife can stay at home and we have all of our bills are paid, all of our debts are taken care of, we have plenty of food, a nice house to live in. That doesn't mean everything's always been rosy, but the Lord has always provided for it.
I think that's the best thing you can say. If you do the right thing, then it's going to work out, and that's what people have to step out in faith, and that's not promoted these days at all. We're going to talk more about that. Okay, now we're going to see another video, some more of your kids. Now, who are we going to see this time?
This would be Jace and Zach, Kyron, Cademan, and Cassie's in it a little bit at the end also.
All right, oh good, let's look. Oh, who's that?
That's Jace.
Oh, what a cutie. Oh, I love him
Sick
asleep.
Jace, yeah.
Oh, big eyes.
Yeah. He's a heartbreaker.
Winning his trophy in Pinewood Derby.
Hi, I'm Jason, and I am 6 years old. And anyway, every time I try to help the littles, it gets harder. It's just every time I get at more crabs and stuff, and everyone keeps liking me, and then it's like Tasha keeps liking me. The girls, some girls really does like me, and that's how they try to get very hugs and kisses, and they really like me, and every time they try to, and then the littles try to know what they really know, but every time they try to beg me for anything that's very fun, and they really like to play dodge Penelope and
He's a
try
talker,
to
isn't he?
He is.
do funny
We need to have
stuff
him on the
at
show.
me,
Future talk show
anyway,
host.
they try to make more funny things, and then they go laughing and laughing, and that's how they make me more funnier.
That's great. Oh,
There's Zach.
Yep.
He's almost 5
Yeah,
now.
Zach is.
And how many years difference between he and the other one?
They're almost 2 years.
Okay.
I love that face.
Oh, serious face.
Yeah. There's Kyron
Oh, I love that.
when they fall asleep in their food.
Sleep in the high
Yeah.
chairs. Oh. Oh.
And they're lined up. There's Jace.
Were you out at a
Yeah.
kind of one of those
Yeah,
run around
our mom
while you wait
has-
for your food place?
Hi guys! These are the rest of our kids. Alright, which one is Zachy? Raise your hand. There's Zach. Zach is 4, almost 5. And then Kyron, raise your hand.
How old
There's
is he?
Kyron.
18 months.
Not the one in the red, he's silly. Kyron is 3. And then Cademan is the one in the red. Hi Cademan! With the bruise on his head. He's at that age when we have to call him Lumpy. Because he runs into things with lumps on his head. He's 18 months. And there's Cass.
That's great. Oh.
There's Zach.
Yep.
He's almost 5
Yeah,
now.
Zach is.
And how many years difference between he and the other one?
They're almost 2 years.
Okay.
I love that face.
Oh, serious face.
Yeah. And there's Kyron
Oh, I love that.
when they fall asleep in their food.
Sleep in the high
Yeah.
chairs. Oh. Oh.
And they're lined up. There's Jace.
Were you out at a
Yeah.
kind of one of those
Yeah,
run
our
around
mom
while you wait
has-
for your food place?
Hi guys! These are the rest of our kids. Alright, which one is Zachy? Raise your hand. There's Zach. Zach is 4, almost 5. And then Kyron, raise your hand.
How old
There's
is he?
Kyron.
18 months.
Not the one in the red, he's silly. Kyron is 3. And then Cademan is the one in the red. Hi Cademan! With the bruise on his head. He's at that age when we have to call him Lumpy. Because he runs into things with lumps on his head. He's 18 months. And there's Cassie. She's helping corral little boys. She's my helper. So what do you guys like about having so many brothers?
He likes having people to wrestle with.
Yeah, he likes to wrestle. That's what we call Cademan B. That's his nickname. Because when he was born and Kyron couldn't say baby, he could only say B. And it kind of stuck. So that's his nickname. Hi, B.
You know, I got to ask this. What kind of vehicle do you guys have?
We just bought a 12-passenger van.
Did you really?
Yep.
Yeah.
We had a
traded-
Suburban before.
We traded in the Suburban, and I lost the 4-wheel drive
Yeah.
capability, but
Oh, yeah.
it was worth it.
Yeah, and that was a 9-passenger?
It was.
Yeah, it was 9.
So then the whole family couldn't go together, and that used to really mess us up. We had to take 2 cars to the beach, 2 cars, you know, anytime we to church, 2 cars, you know,
Yep.
and you do what you have to do. But
Right.
yeah, that's
so
really
it's
great.
nice to have a van. We can all fit, and there's extra space.
I know,
It's
12-passenger
a little
will
bit-
be.
yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
So, you know, you just kind of have to wait sometimes for things that, you know, you wish you had. And I think I want to talk about budgets now. What do you think would be helpful for people thinking about the money aspect? How are we going to do this? You know, it's so expensive to eat out every night. How are we going to afford that?
Right.
I mean, to have more budget at the end of the month rather than more month at the end of your budget.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you want to have a big family, how do you make this work money-wise?
You know, in one sentence, live within your means. You know, there's a lot of things materially that a person could pursue. There's physical needs that we need to have: clothing, shelter, food, etc. But it's not that each child is an expense times 7 or times 8. There's a lot of synergy you start to get, because when we cook a big meal, we can pull more resources in. So we're cooking kind of like for a mini army.
Right.